Hello, hi Emma. So I'm really excited to welcome you into my group to be one of my expert coaches. So without further ado, if you can introduce yourself and tell everyone in the group what it is you do and how you could help them, that would be great.
Yes, of course. I'm Emma, and yeah, thank you for having me. I'm really happy to be in your group and yeah, to be able to share what I do and hope that it will be useful and helpful. And yeah, so what I do is many things, but I specialize in somatics and sensuality. So all things to do with the body. So whilst what I do isn't just body focused, it's very much about kind of being in the body and not so much in the mind, and much more in the feeling rather than in the thinking. So, and I do that through many ways, with all sorts of things such as movement, energetics, breath work, meditation, and the sensuality part is like touch. So I teach women mostly like self massage techniques and how to, yeah, my kind of work is really based around the overall body of the work is based around helping and supporting women to have a better and deeper relationship with themselves. So that's it in a nutshell.
Wow, that sounds really interesting. I don't think I've ever met anyone that kind of puts it in a all together like that. I've met ladies who do breath work, meditation, but that sounds a little bit different. How did you get into this? What's your, have you got a bit of a backstory there?
I do, yeah. I always kind of feel like more often than not we end up being drawn to possibly train or learn in what we need ourselves, and that's definitely been my experience. That's true for me, in the sense of I practiced yoga for many years and kept toying with the idea of learning to teach, and eventually did that. So I became a yoga teacher over a decade ago, about 12 years ago, and with that, I also learned how to teach meditation and then the breath work and all of that kind of. So that all is kind of like lumped into one.
Mm.
And I needed that myself. I was struggling with anxiety, and I kind of had a low level of kind of anxiety for many years. And yeah, there were lots of dots that kind of weren't really, I wasn't necessarily joining up. I was kind of helping myself in some ways, but it was kind of lacking a little bit of depth, even though, yoga can kind of take you very deeply into yourself. I kind of stayed at a little bit more of a superficial level for a long time until I learned how to teach, and then I went on a whole new discovery with it, really. So, and I'm also a holistic therapist, so I have many massage qualifications, and that's how the somatics and the sensuality kind of combine. So I use all of the things that I know that have helped me to now help others. And fundamentally, what was kind of going on when I had like the anxiety was really a lack of, kind of the depth of the relationship with myself. So I believe that all of those things that I kind of delved into and everything that I was exploring kind of helped me to get to know myself on a deeper level. And I think that was not something that was like the norm around me, or kind of like what I could see or who I was learning from. And yeah, so that is kind of how I came into it, and yeah, why I love it so much, because I believe that it's when we know ourselves more deeply, we can express our needs. We know what we want and we know when we need it, which obviously helps us to set boundaries, and also just kind of be able to recognize when there is something that actually needs to be addressed, or that actually needs additional support, so that could be seeking the support of a therapist, for example, or seeking the nutrition, or something, whatever that might be. I just kind of think, like, when we're really able to kind of tune into ourselves, and we have that kind of inner dialogue that lets us know what we kind of really truly need in each
to
moment,
know what
which
you
obviously
need.
gets lost in.
It's not always obvious what we need, is it? Unless someone can point us in the right direction. And from my experience, and for all the coaches that I've met over the years, the best ones are the ones that have gone down the road themselves. I think a coach that coaches something that they're taught but haven't experienced, they might know the tools, but until you've experienced it yourself, in my opinion, I think they make the best coaches, because you've got that empathy and you've got that understanding about what other women are going through. And there's so many ladies in my group go through perimenopause and menopause who would resonate to all those things you just described. So I think it's going to be great that you're in there, and that you're going to be able to help so many ladies find themselves, basically, isn't it? Understand themselves.
Yeah, I guess in some way that you could describe it like that. Yeah, I mean, that sounds like quite big, doesn't it, to kind of like say myself. But I think, in all honesty, a lot of it is to do with, like, I'm a lover of ritual, so I'm all about, like, yes, I can offer loads of different practices and ways of experiencing yourself in your body, but I think a lot of it is about the small stuff and the smaller, like, little rituals that we can kind of start to shift, and it's the smaller things that kind of actually create the bigger difference. But I totally agree in terms of embodiment, like, I don't think you can not be embodied in what you're sharing and teaching. I think that's, like, fundamentally how it should be. Like, you should always kind of be embodied in what you're sharing with others, because otherwise, how do you really know that works?
You don't know how they're feeling if you haven't felt that yourself, kind of thing. And how does that look when it comes to doing something online for somebody? How would that look?
Yeah, so it could look like, basically, like, where are you at? So I would meet a woman, for example, and I would ask the question, like, where are you at? What is it that you're feeling? Like, what is the one thing that you would perhaps love to change or love to start working on? And then we take it from there, really. And if, for example, somebody was, like, really kind of craving more depth, but they were really struggling with stillness, and they were struggling with rest, as in they didn't really, it sounds silly to say that someone would not know how to rest, but I didn't know how to rest for a really long time of my adult life, because I thought that resting was one thing, and actually it was totally something else. And yeah, so to kind of, if they're struggling with stillness and rest, then I wouldn't send them straight into, like, say, like a series of meditation, because we need to kind of start more from the outside and come into that, rather than, right, okay, you're really struggling to sit still, let's do this, because it often isn't actually that helpful. Like, yes, obviously all of those things are wonderful, like, tools, but if somebody was to come to me for that, then I would definitely start with bigger stuff. So moving meditation and somatic exercises and somatic practices and rituals that can start to tune their awareness, like, more deeply in, like, from the outside in, rather than, right, let's sit you down and do this. And then we would gradually progress into more stillness, slower practices, and stuff. But that's why like touch and sensuality is a really important part of it, because it's a great way of actually kind of going, okay, I'm doing this, like I'm doing this kind of massage on myself, and this is how it's making me feel. And actually, oh, I didn't really know that part of my body was like that. And yeah, so just like I said, it can be the smaller things that can start to make the big difference. But we just start with where you are, and then we go from there. So it's not like a prescription of, right, we do this, we do this, we do this.
Yeah.
It's kind of very much kind of tailored towards where we are at the beginning as to what would be most helpful.
Sounds great. You've had me mesmerised. I just imagining myself sitting there just massaging myself then. Really, you nearly sent me off.
Well, I've been told that my voice is, and I'm not saying that this would be the case for everyone that listens to my voice, because I know we've all, like, I'm super sensitive to sound and voices and stuff, but I have been told that my voice is quite soothing. So
yeah, I found it very soothing then when you were talking.
Hopefully not to the point that it just makes everyone fall asleep, though. That's not what we want.
There's a difference between soothing and boring. Yeah. Definitely not boring. Oh, that's great. So I'm really excited that you've agreed to come and be a coach, and so many women are going to benefit from you being there. So I'd like to thank you for your time, Emma. I'll let you crack on, and I'll upload this video into the group towards the end of the week. So I'm putting one expert a day in, so they're building up, and it's also going to be on my YouTube channel as well. So I'll pop it in. Thank you very much, Emma.
Lovely to chat, Jo. Take care.
Enjoy the rest of your day.
And you. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.